yards, had a pretty good season. So I think this is kind of old hat to him. He's joked that, he's now no longer a rookie in the franchise tag business. So he feels a little more comfortable with it. He's ready to go.
Yeah, and I think you'll be able to put it behind him. To me, Kirk Cousins is kind of that nonchalant guy who'll be able to move past this situation, which, his demise will be great for us, great for Cowboys fans, no doubt. But this is the NFC East, and it seems like every single year it is up for grabs. And in order for that to happen, Kirk Cousins is going to have a good year. So that's something to definitely think about. So there was 2 draft picks from this past draft, Jonathan Allen and Ryan Anderson. Have you seen anything from those guys yet that you would want to share or talk about?
Yeah, so Ryan Anderson is kind of still developing as a linebacker. He was more of a run stopper and quarterback rusher, I guess, in college. He didn't do a whole lot of dropping in the coverage. So there's a lot of development there for his game. However, you see his speed and his strength when they do those one-on-one drills. So you can see where he's going to be able to contribute this year. Jonathan Allen, on the other hand, is stepping right in. And, the Redskins' new defensive line coach, Jim Tomsula, is going with a big rotation with all the guys. So it's hard to get a feel for where guys stand. But to a man, all the D linemen are saying that, Jonathan Allen is playing like a grown man, not in his rookie camp. He's strong, he's staunch in run defense, and he really blows up some plays out there.
Yeah, and that just shows the quality of Alabama. I mean, Alabama players, and that's, any guy that gets drafted most of the time from Alabama is, especially defense, they come in ready. Offense, sometimes a different story, but defense for sure,
right.
Those guys are ready to play most of the time. So, I didn't know you guys got Jim Tomsula, the great.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. If you have heard any
the best
of
soundbite in
those,
football.
Yes. If you were any of those press conferences, they're golden. Make sure you pull those up one day.
They're golden. We actually got a chance to talk to him the other day, and he everyone's sitting there waiting for that golden soundbite.
Right.
And somebody asked him about how much he sweats during practice, because he's just drenched from head to toe from the second he walks out on the field till the second he goes back in. And he's like, it's nothing different. He's like, I would sweat in a refrigerator. And everyone busts out laughing, and he knew it, and it was great.
Yeah. And it's always good to have a fun guy on the staff, for sure. And he's definitely going to give you some more sound bites throughout the year. So, once again, talking to Mitch Tischler of CSN Mid-Atlantic, right now at Redskins camp. So, this is interesting to me. Samaje Perine, he was a standout player at Oklahoma, played next to Joe Mixon. Is there a possibility he could start? And what are you seeing from him?
I don't know that I see him starting. I think he'll definitely contribute this year. During mini camps and OTAs, he seemed to be seeing that NFL fastball was coming at him pretty quickly. But as we see now in training camp down here, he's getting in the mix of things, and I definitely think that they're going to use him a lot around the goal line, short yardage situations and stuff like that. But Rob Kelly, I think, has that starting running back job on lock. Perine is definitely going to be a nice addition to that running back core. But Fat Rob is the guy here, I think.
Okay. And just had the Hall of Fame game, like I mentioned. Alfred Morris was playing pretty well. He almost played similar to his Redskins days. It's just one game, of course. But do you guys still miss Alfred Morris?
I mean, if you ask anyone around the team, they miss Alfred Morris because he is just an incredible guy. He was one of the nicest guys that we ever dealt with, and his intensity on the field, was strong. But, seeing a sixth-round guy develop like that and, go out and be able to get a contract and continue his career is pretty strong. I think the Redskins are kind of looking at that same sort of situation with Rob Kelly again as a sixth-round guy. Use him for a couple of years, and unfortunately, it's kind of the life of NFL running backs these days. They kind of get run through the gauntlet for a few years and then passed off. So to see Alfred go out in Dallas or wherever it may be and have a little bit of a rejuvenation to his career is pretty nice to see. I mean, he's a great dude. We love him down here.
Yeah, just watching some of the interviews, he just is a stand-up guy. You don't hear him in the news. You don't hear him having any issues. So that's a guy that I'm definitely gonna back for sure. So one of your tweets from yesterday was the fourth straight day in pads. You feel like there's going to be the first scuffle of camp. Did that happen yesterday?
It actually did happen. Not a full-blown fight, but just a couple little scuffles. DBs and wide receivers have been going at it pretty hard in the one-on-one drills, and a couple times got tripped or a receiver pushed over a DB, and tempers flared a little bit. Josh Doxson caught a ball in 7-on-7 in the back of the end zone and kind of flipped it at Nico Marley, who's one of the Redskins' free agent linebackers, and that kind of set off a little bit of a powder keg. Pretty much all, 50 guys from the 7-on-7s were in the middle of the field barking. DJ Swearinger and Niles Paul were kind of in the middle of it. It wasn't really a fight. It was just kind of a little, day to get heated, day where everyone got heated.
Yeah, and you just think they're in camp for weeks. I mean, 4 weeks, and going up against each other over and over and over again. There's bound to be something happen. It's going to be on NFL Network, I'm sure. Every single week, there's going to be some type of scuffle. They got to make the news and talk about the NFL somehow.
Exactly.
Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say, you work with your coworkers, 9 to 5 each day. These guys are with each other at a hotel 24 hours a day. They're in team meetings. They're at meals. They're, at practice together. They're lifting. They're together every minute of the day. So, at some point, those emotions are going to boil over.
Yeah, it's going to happen sooner or later. All right, so I'm going to kind of go in a different direction on this next question because I want to get your opinion.
All right.
You have Colin Kaepernick, who hasn't been signed yet, had an opportunity with, of course, the 49ers where he started off, hasn't gotten re-signed. What's your thoughts on this situation, and do you see him getting signed before the season?
Honestly, I don't know if I see him getting signed. Do I think there are situations where he should have been already? Yes. But the most recent situation in Baltimore, I think that got a little blown out of proportion only because Joe Flacco has had a minor back injury. The Ravens said it was going to be a week-long injury, and then it kind of changed, it might be a 2 to 4 week injury or whatever, but they weren't in the position that they were looking for, a starting quarterback per se. And I think if you look at Miami, I don't know what the latest is on Tannehill, but I think I saw that they're considering season-ending knee surgery for him. That feels like a great landing spot for him. And, we all know Adam Gase is a real strong offensive mind, and it's hard for me. I think that he should be signed. Do I think that he will? I just don't know.
Yeah, it's a head scratcher. And then with this Dolphins situation, it seems like Jay Cutler is going to be a shoo-in for this, which I've got a couple listeners in Miami, and I feel sorry for them because I don't know what Jay Cutler is going to do exactly, but good luck. But I think he's better than, I would say, even 85% of the backups. So he should at least get a backup job. Only time will tell. But it's been a story, and it will be a story until he gets signed. And I think that's what a lot of people see and a lot of people feel.
As principled of a man as Kaepernick is, I almost wonder. We kind of haven't really heard from him in a while, and probably for the best if he wants to be signed, based on the way the NFL is treating him now. But I almost wonder if he's so principled and he's done with football because the way that they've treated him so far. It's really a shame.
Yeah, that's been my thinking too. I really haven't heard, and I may be wrong, but I haven't heard Kaepernick say really anything. I've heard he's working out. I've heard things, but I'm yet to see an interview if Kaepernick truly wants to play. A lot of people are talking for Kaepernick, but what exactly does Kaepernick want? And to me, that's the part that is the question mark in this whole equation, because maybe he doesn't even want to play. Maybe he wants to focus on what his mission and goal is after football. So that's I think the most interesting part of this. All right.
Yeah, it's all. It's.
Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Oh yeah. So I was just going to say, with the NFC East always being a tough division, what is your prediction on this division? I know it's extremely early prediction from Mitch Tischler, but what's your thoughts on this NFC East with it being so early, but it's always neck to neck?
I know you're going to hate to hear this, but I think with the Cowboys having to play that first place schedule this season, I think they're going to take a little bit of a step back. Losing a couple pieces on the offensive line, I think you're going to struggle a little more in the run game. It's not going to come as easy for Zeke as it did last year. But in reality, I kind of see all four teams being within the 7 to 10 win range, and it's going to be tight. My pick, I think, for the division is I think the Giants. I think the Giants are going to win the division. I think the Cowboys and Redskins are both going to come in at 9-7. I think the Eagles will be 7-9.
Okay. And I agree with you. I think there is going to be a little bit of a step back with this Cowboys team. I'm thinking 10-6. I think obviously Dak is going to have a little bit of a sophomore slump. Zeke is going to have a little bit of a sophomore slump. But for the most part, I see these guys winning the division. I still see it happening. But I think it's always up for grabs. And we'll be talking with other guys representing their teams as we do this NFC East show. And I want to appreciate you, Mitch, for coming on. Once again, Mitch Tischler of CSN Mid-Atlantic. He is right now at Redskins camp. And that's Mitch_Tischler. That's Tischler on Twitter. And have a good one. I know Redskins is having a fan appreciation today too, right?
Yeah, today's their fan appreciation day. They expect, maybe about 10,000 fans, 10,000 fans at their practice facility. They go, hard for a 2-hour full pad practice. A lot of 7-on-7, a lot of 11-on-11. So it's going to be an exciting day.
All right. Well, take care and appreciate you so much.
All right. Thank you so much.
All right. Have a good one. All right. That was my man, Mitch Tischler. He is at Redskins camp, like I said. My goal was to get 4 different, representatives that were at the camps. Did not work out, but I got 1 out of 3. So I'm gonna pat myself on the back. It's normally hard to get people when they're covering camp. But next up, we got Eric Wilson, and we're gonna be talking Eagles. We got my man Eric Wilson of Whole Nother Level podcast. What's going on, Eric?
Ben, what's going on, man? Good to hear from you. How's everything going?
Good, man. I've been waiting to get this opportunity to get you on the show. We'll definitely have to do it again.
Oh Lord! Now I know exactly what you're gonna say, but go ahead.
It's all good. All right, so Eagles. Once again, talking with Eric Wilson, Whole Nother Level podcast, which is on Spreaker.com, also on Raw Talk Online, I believe. So
Yep, we've got that. We've also got a new affiliate also with Rat Pack Sports